Subway employees of Reddit, what was the grossest sub you've had to make? Way back when we used to make cheesy bread by pulling out the middle and melting the cheese in its place. We don't do that anymore. Thank God. There was this person that wanted that. Then she asked for nothing else except oil. I mean, literally a shit ton of oil. There was a pool about 3 centimeters filling the excavation of bread. She gave a $10 tip, so that was kinda nice. But I'll never forget you, Oompa Loompa oily cheese bread lady. We were across the road from a pub. A customer who'd been across the road all day came and ordered a meatball sub. He asked me to put every meat we had on it. Seafood, tuna, cold meats, the 4 different chickens we had at the time, everything. Was an absolute bitch to close and cost him something like $40 for one 6-inch sandwich. He sat down inside and ate it all. I worked there in college. One guy would come in and order 2 quadruple meat, quadruple cheese BLTs. That's 40 pieces of bacon per sandwich. He would house both of them sitting right there in the dining room, 80 pieces of bacon down one pea hole. A guy came in with a Tupperware bowl of nat and asked us to put it on a chicken and bacon ranch melt. We are not allowed to do that, so we just made him the sandwich and he took it to his table. He came back a few minutes later and asked if we could heat his sandwich more. It was pretty clear that he'd added the nat himself and now wanted us to cook the damn stuff. He was polite, so my coworker obliged. Our place smelled like rotting rat anus for the rest of the day. A guy in front of me in line ordered a tuna sandwich and then pulled out a Ziploc bag of grain sugar. He asked if they'd put the sugar on top of all the tuna before roasting the sandwich. They did it, but I can't imagine caramelized tuna would be my choice for food. A drunk guy came in and asked for a 6-inch flatbread with just mayo, garlic mayo, and ketchup, and he wanted it toasted. I worked at Subway for a few months during my freshman year of college. The grossest thing I ever made wasn't a sub, but a salad I made for an older lady. She came in right before closing, and she asked for a salad with shredded lettuce, cut up ham, and mayonnaise. So much mayo. I squeezed a few lines on her salad and looked up at her to ask if that was too much, and she said, "Oh no baby, I'm going to need a lot more than that," and I ended up squeezing what seemed like almost half of the squeezed bottle on her salad. The top of the lettuce ham bowl she asked for was completely covered in mayo like a blanket of creamy snow. I swear the ratio of mayo to lettuce was like 3:1. She even got extra mayo in a little cup on the side just in case. It really stuck in my memory because I remember she got so much mayo we had to prep another bottle of it before we could close. It was a salad and the entire situation was gross. So this dude wearing tan and gold, rimless sunglasses walked in and kept his sunglasses on. He tells me he wants a chopped salad. I don't remember the meat or veggies he asked for, but I do remember the toppings. After reading my name tag, he asked for olive oil. As he peered at me over his glasses he said, "I like it really wet, Ludi and Luna," and licked his lips. I put in a whole bunch, but kept repeating how wet he liked it, asking for more oil. I put in at least half a bottle of oil. Then he goes on to say how he loves Parmesan cheese, like a lot of it. I shook in a bunch of cheese, but he still wasn't satisfied. I was pissed off and creeped out at this point, so I took the lid off the cheese and dumped the entire shaker full into the bowl. He was fucking thrilled. Ludi and Luna, you're the best. You make the best salad. No one anywhere else gets it like you do. You're perfect. He came back several times, asking for me, and if I was there he refused to be served by anyone else. Eventually, my shift manager stood next to me while I made the salad, so the dude couldn't make weird ass comments. He stopped coming in after that. Late to the party, but I feel like everyone needs to hear about the cheese man. This trucker comes in once or twice a week and orders a tuna sub. Before you put the tuna on, he wants the bread coated on both sides with mayo. Next the tuna, then the Swiss cheese. Double portion. Then cover the tuna in ranch. Then add 2 big handfuls of shredded cheese. Next more ranch. Then 2 bigger handfuls of shredded cheese. More ranch, you ask? Yes. The answer is always yes. Next is onions and green peppers. Toast it now while it weighs as much as a healthy newborn. More shredded cheese. Now 1 last quarter of a bottle of ranch. Please add a strip of light mayo before you wrap it. It was the nastiest, messiest pile of shit I have ever seen, and I used to live in a ghetto. Oh boy, something I can answer. I used to work for Subway back in 2008 to 2010, and we had this dude that would come in 3 times a week. He rotated between 3 sandwich choices, each one truly grotesque. 1 foot-long white Italian bread, triple meat meatball sub, triple American cheese, not toasted, with mayo and sweet onion teriyaki sauce. 1 scoop of tuna for his cat on the side. 2 foot-long white Italian bread, triple meat tuna, triple American cheese, double foot-long portion of bacon, toasted, tons of onions, extra mayo. 1 scoop of tuna for his cat on the side. 3 foot-long Italian white bread, triple meat cold cut combo, triple American cheese, not toasted, loaded up with tons olives and onions. Then extra mayo, sweet onion teriyaki, and honey mustard. 1 scoop of tuna for his cat on the side. Closing his sandwiches was literally a daunting task, especially the meatball one, because it was so slimmy, and they cost so much, even though back then they were all $5 each, because he had triple everything on them. Though it was nice that he always got some tuna for his cat. The owner of the store wouldn't charge him for it, usually because he was such a frequent customer. Subway worker coming up 9 years, managing for 4 years. Had many odd combinations, but the top one is when a drunk came in and wanted everything on the sub. And I mean everything. I explained that if he had everything it would be very expensive, and he insisted. So I opened up a foot long, heated all the meats and cheese, toasted and all the salads with majority of the sauces, salt and pepper. Being very large sandwich, we couldn't close the sub, so we had to open another foot long and put it on top. Took 2 subwrap to wrap it up. Came to 70-ish, can't remember exactly, or dollars. Guy paid and off he went. When I worked at one, we once had a woman and her kid come in, and without exaggeration I could say she was 300 plus lbs. Her kid looked like that would be his path later in life as well. They were both incredibly nice, but very strict. The mom did the order and made it clear that she was ordering for her precious angel, and it needed to be exact. They wanted a 12-inch meatball marinara with no meatballs, just the sauce. Next, every pickle that we had left on the front line was dumped into this thing. Easily, more than 5x the regular pickle amount. Enough pickle that I could make 2 solid rows of pickle on this behemoth, and have pickle left over that did not touch the bottom bread. Next it would be extra double toasted. After 1 round of toasting, the bread was already hot, and the pickles totally baked of all life. They could not, however, be prepared for the reign of thermal torture that was about to assault them. After 1 more full 12-inch toasting cycle, and 1 additional 6-inch toasting cycle, the bread was burnt a shade of black in most exposed parts. The tomato sauce was toasted to a crisp, and the poor pickles were disgusting yellowish crispy ghosts of their former glory. No other veggies would be unlucky enough to be added to the sandwich, bubbling hot and stinking of desiccated pickle. The final step in this abomination was to retrieve another small cup of refrigerated, still cold tomato sauce from the bag, and dump a line of that on top of the broiled, charred fucking brig of pickled tomato nonsense now currently smelling up my line. The kid was giving this whole situation a very pleased Pugsley Adams-esque smile from the back as I wrapped the sandwich, gross charred bread flaking off as I wrapped it up. Then they bought a bag of Miss Vikes jalapeno chips, a soda and left on their merry way, so I could start cleaning up. The only thing that made the situation more bearable is that, despite being strict about the preparation, they were very nice and happy to get the food. TL. Dr. A heavy-set kid orders a double tomato sauce 12-inch with 6x the normal pickles, double extra toasts it, and adds on cold tomato sauce on top. I quit a few months ago, but I was covering a shift at a different store. Guy wanted a tuna sandwich. No big deal. Then he wanted me to put steak on it. Okay. Weird. Then he was like, "What is that?" while pointing at the veggie patties. He asked for that on it too. A tuna, steak, veggie patty sandwich. I don't remember the veggies, but he did get some. He gave me a $5 tip and his number. I never called him. The other one that was just fucking weird to me was someone ordering a meatball sub and then getting, like, an entire bottle of sweet onion sauce on it. It was so much fucking sweet onion sauce. So much.